have gotten degrees in psychology, all the social workers, like, we're talking about jobs going up. This feels like a good idea to me. So I don't know why we've said, well, we don't have enough intimacy coordinators under the SAG-AFTRA contract, so can't guarantee it, and studios have a right of refusal, which, again, if they have the right of refusal, they'll refuse. And we've said, well, we don't have enough of these people, but you also can't have a support person on set with you who you trust, like your manager or your mom or whoever it might be. So essentially we've given away the 2 layers of protection we might have gotten, and the Canadian contract got both. Feels like more failure. In Canada, and this is really important, we got to talk about background. Anyone who's watching this who's worked background on a show knows that it's like grueling and crazy and also kind of fun, and you guys are really valuable. And background actors come and go, they often have other jobs they work, and a lot of those folks are trying to like make it into the industry, so they're coming to sets to be around production and around actors who are regulars on shows to learn. And it's really valuable education. So in Canada, all performers, including background actors, get 48 hours of notice of nudity in a scene. They get the script and activity expectation, and get this, background who's going to be nude in a scene gets the same pay as principal actors for any intimate work. Now here's why this is important. Anybody out there a Westworld fan? I'm a huge Westworld fan. Let's think about the scene where, oh God, what is his name? This is my problem. I can't remember anyone's real names because I think of people as their TV characters. Doesn't matter. 2 of the characters like ride into a part of town, and it's nighttime and it's dark and the light is like really golden sparkly and everything's beautiful and everybody's like naked. It's like this hedonistic, crazy party happening, right? Because Westworld is like robot fantasy land. It was gorgeous, but a lot of those people who were naked were background folks. Now, here's where things get tricky. As a background actor, if you are like, I don't want to be naked on that show, even though I really like it or I want to work on it, you should have that right. In Canada, with the ACTRA deal, this 48 hours notice means that you, as a background player, can say to the, first AD who's calling you or the agency that's booking you, saying, hey, are you available Friday for an overnight shoot? P.S. You got to be naked. The actor can say, I'm so sorry, you know what, I'm working a double at my regular job. I can't come in on Friday. Now, maybe that's not true, but they can at least say, I'm unavailable. They don't have to say, I'm actually really unwilling to do that. In the U.S., our background gets, quote, best effort of notification of nudity. Again, if it isn't required, it doesn't happen. We all know this to be true. Like, we have to stop expecting the best, and we actually have to negotiate for it. So they get best effort of notification, and they can turn down work on the day and still get paid. Meaning if you show up to the set of this show where you're expected to be nude or partially nude and you find out about it, you can say, I don't want to do that, and you still get paid. But here's what happens, y'all. This is where we know things like retaliation come in. Because that AD, if he's got 25 men and women or non-binary actors who, out of 100, who say, we're really not comfortable with this, we'd like to be paid and leave, his background count, which was supposed to be at 100, is now 75. He's on the hook, that AD, for having 25 less people than he was supposed to. You know what happens to all those background actors? They get labeled as difficult. They go on a do not call back list. And I can tell you they do because we have those on sets. When someone is inappropriate, we've, over the years I've encountered a background person or two who's come in and been really lewd with some performers, had some inappropriate behavior, and rightfully so. There's a list, don't call that person. It's for the protection of everyone on the crew, right? But people who, and let's be honest, very often women who don't want to subject themselves to sexual objectification also get labeled as difficult. This is not okay. The Canadian contract with the 48 hours notice means you don't ever have to tell someone why you're not going to do that scene. Here in the US, someone trying to break into the industry has to look at the person who just gave them their job and say, I don't really want to do that. I'm going to go, and then risk never getting hired again. So best effort of notification, not good enough. Now, for love scenes, intimate scenes, sexually explicit scenes, whatever you want to call them, under the Canadian ACTRA contract, photography that is not used in the final process, meaning once picture is locked and the scene is edited, is destroyed. in the US, under this new proposal, there is no promise to destroy that photography. Now again, let me explain to our friends and supporters out there what this really means for us as performers. Scenes take on average anywhere from 2 to 3 hours per script page to shoot. Now, when those scenes get edited into a film or a movie, a 2-page scene can be anywhere from, 2 to 4 minutes long. But if it's taking 3 hours a page, we're looking at 6 hours of footage for 4 minutes of screen time. That means that actors who are doing a love scene have 6 hours of footage of their most vulnerable, exposed bodies recorded somewhere. And when those 4 minutes of the scenes get done and the negotiated terms are stuck to, so, these happen in contracts. Like, you can see the upper quarter of actresses' right buttock only on, page 1 of said scene. It's like really specific. But stuff that isn't agreed to be in the final cut is filmed. Your body is filmed. You trust your people to protect you. Where does that footage go? Why is it okay that 6 hours of my body or your body is just going to sit somewhere? And by the way, guys, we're not back in the 50s. It's not film that's locked in a canister, locked in a closet at a movie studio. This is digital stuff that lives on multiple people's computers. These are the kinds of images that get hacked, trafficked, sold. People get exposed in the most inappropriate and vulnerable ways. And here in the US, we didn't get the protection that in the same negotiation in the same year our sister performers in Canada got with the same studios. Photography destroyed in the actor deal. No promise to destroy in the SAG-AFTRA deal. And we're supposed to consider this a win? In the ACTRA contract, again, Canadian, there is a full definition of a closed set. So not only have essential workers been limited to 5, there are no monitors allowed. In the US, we allow monitors. We don't define a closed set. We do not limit essential workers to 5. And supposedly under this new deal, anyone viewing the monitor has to identify themselves to you as an actor. So it's supposed to make me feel better if 76 dudes on my set say, "Hey girl, while you shoot this love scene, I'm gonna be watching you naked on this little screen over here." That doesn't make me feel better. That doesn't make me feel protected. And let's be honest, we're all doing this on a smartphone right now. Everybody's got an iPhone. Everybody's got a smartphone. Everybody's got a Samsung, like whatever it is you have in your pocket. It's a professional camera. You're gonna tell me that there's not one person ever on a set who's not gonna risk sneaking a pic of the actress or the actor that their best friend has a crush on while they're naked and sending it in a text message? It's not okay. We can't assume people are gonna be on their best behavior. We have to require it legally. We have to erase the danger of exposure for our performers. This is not appropriate. And at the end of it, Canada, under the ACTRA deal, allows 50% approval of body doubles and reviews of final cuts, meaning you get to look at footage and make sure that they didn't put something in a scene that they agreed not to. We don't get that. We don't get a guarantee of that. And as a person who has definitely been exploited in those terms, who has agreed so specifically that I've watched a shot, I've gotten to watch the monitor, I know exactly what part of my body's supposed to be exposed, and then I get to watching the film or the show, and I go, oh, tricky, cool. So the camera guy shot it differently than he promised me he would, and the director's probably the one who ordered him to do that. That's dark. Doesn't feel good. Guys, this is not an appropriate deal. And they're trying to say that they've won because of modesty garments. Modesty garments which are always made available to us by our wardrobe departments. They haven't had to be contracted before because wardrobe does this. It's standard common practice. The number of shades and cuts and types of sticky bras and nude underwear, and do you want a thong, and do you want a modesty sock for a guy, and do you want a little brief, do you want a modesty patch that goes literally over your private parts? I would die. I'm far too bashful, but to people who feel like they can rock it, good for you. You look great. These things are standard common practice. They're asking us to rejoice that they got a guarantee of a robe on set between takes. Again, wardrobe does that. That's standard. If you're doing a scene like this, the minute that somebody cuts, you've got someone from wardrobe running in to give you a robe because it's uncomfortable to be standing in a room full of other people with your clothes off. These are not wins. And guys, to know specifically that over a year ago, the folks at Time's Up spelled out a rider, spelled out the details of what we needed to get to ensure that practices of harassment and abuse could be stopped. And we didn't get it. And our other union did. Our Canadian union did. Same studios, same negotiation. I don't understand how, in good conscience, our leadership could be telling us right now that these are historic wins or gains. I just don't get it. So, yeah, there's a lot going on in the world right now, obviously, and I'm trying my best to post about all of it and to educate about all of it and to really make sure that I spend far more time on other communities and other issues that are bigger for the globe outside of our own. But also, all those SAG folks, you are my own. Principal actors, background actors, day players, dancers, we are a team. And our union is supposed to advocate for us. And I'm incredibly frustrated by the gross lack of protection that we're getting out of this new deal. I'm incredibly frustrated that we're being told that they're historic wins. They're not. I'm incredibly frustrated that until the dissenting opinion voices complained that the only button on the SAG website with which to vote in this election was a yes button. There was no option online to vote no until we complained about it. I'm upset about voter suppression too. I'm upset about a lot of things for us. And we've got a lot of work to do, and there's a lot for us to do in society. But this vote is due next week, and so I'm going to talk about it until the day after, because I just don't believe that this is okay. So SAG-AFTRA members, I need you to read the fine print. I want you to read the deal. I want you to go to dissentingopinion2020.com and read what we've missed and read about what we're losing, because there are losses that are also going to deeply affect some of our long-lived, incredible career performers, and I don't think we're supposed to throw our own out of the lifeboat here. I want you guys to go and read it. And my hope is that any SAG-AFTRA members who are voting, vote no. I hope that you can share this with your friends in the industry. Any of you who know actors, please send them this video. Please send them the dissentingopinion2020.com website. Please encourage them to get educated on what's going on here, because the idea that we are being left vulnerable, that our personhood can be violated in ways like this continuously, where our industry has been making big promises to change, feels wrong. So thank you all for tuning in. Sorry to kind of be a downer, but I think we have to be educated about the facts even when they're not pretty, so that we can go out there and help try to lead the revolution to make them better, right? To anybody who's out there in my SAG-AFTRA community, I love you guys. I want us to fight together for each other. And I hope that we can go back to the drawing board on this. You know, one other thing I want to address before I go, actually. There's this opinion from leadership online that if we go back to the drawing board, we'll get a worse deal. First of all, how dare you tell studios we'll accept a worse deal? And second of all, that's not how negotiating works. If we as a union vote no on this, then the studios go, well, shit, we got to give them something else. We have to give them something to vote yes. There's these people who are saying, you know, if we go back, then we're going to have to strike. No, we don't. Nobody's striking, but we're also not working. We're in the middle of a pandemic. We've never actually had more leverage than we do right now because we can't work. We all want to. We all want to go back to work. But if we're sitting at home trying to do our part, why not fight harder for each other? Studios are apparently, I this is the number I heard, and if I'm wrong, somebody please let me know, but I've heard that by December they're going to be out of over 80% of all their new content. Feels like they need us. We need them too. I have a show that I can't wait to get back to work and start shooting. I'm like honestly so excited about it. I'm still reading medical books. We've been in quarantine for 4 months. You think I'd be over it? I'm not. I'm really deep in. I can't wait to go back and work with my co-stars, my writers, my studio. I'm really excited about it. But I can't. None of us can. So I really think that if there's ever been a time for us to hold out, it's now. A no vote doesn't mean we strike. A no vote simply means we go back to the table and we get a better deal. And we deserve that, guys. We're part of this machine that makes art and also makes big global profit. And we need to be treated as collaborators and cohorts, not as an afterthought. So, thank you all. Much appreciated. If you agree with me, please consider voting no. I'm not here to tell you how to vote, but I'm certainly going to tell you how I hope you will, because I think that this is really the only way forward for us. Oh, hey, Amani, I can't wait for Good Sam either. I mean, honestly, can't wait to go back to work. But, you know, fight the good fight until we do. So yeah, guys, dissentingopinion2020.com. Pass this on to all your actor friends, your performer friends, your stunt friends. Stunts aren't getting any help with this new contract either, and our stunt people, like, those are our people. Anyway, I could go on and on. I appreciate you, and keep at it, y'all. Talk to you soon.